updated. Okay, so it should be live now. It should be live now. Move my mic closer. Here we go. Or turn the gain up. This is fine. Gotta fiddle with things. Okay, how are you? I think we're running now. Jackie, why are you on my desk? Good news, the cat is here. Very important. I gotta post to Twitter and all that we are live now.
Fantastic.
And then presumably people might show up at that point.
One would hope, eventually.
I mean, they might not. It might literally just be Matt and nobody else. But, you know.
God, this is messing me up because
it's still way back in the back of my mind. But like, I know that's not quite right anymore, and it's.
No, I know. Too many people have names. People should have fewer names. We should all just refer to everyone as that person, and we will all just understand.
Maybe.
Jack of Football, can you stop climbing on things? My cat is being a menace. As she does. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm almost done reminding people that things are happening. Hello. I don't want to deal with cameras right now, but I can probably post it. Thinking is hard. I know what I can do.
Do you? You don't sound all that confident.
No, I know what I can do. I can pull up a photo of her from my computer. I have an entire folder of just pictures of her. Then I have to pick one, though. Here's one.
Too many to choose from.
There's so many. There's 879 of them.
Yeah, see, this is exactly what I was referring to earlier. There is a solid 10 or 12 second delay between when I start talking and when I light up in Twitch.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm definitely having both the stream open and
presumably muted. Hang on.
Yeah, and muted, and I suppose the other stream, and so saying that I have the stream open actually isn't narrowing down anything.
What? Let me see here. Is that what I want?
Okay, good. My mic didn't pick that up.
Okay.
I have chai in front of me, and I need to occasionally stir it.
Okay.
Well, of course Kirby's mouth moves. How else do you expect him to talk?
It's very important. Okay, I made one effort to show a picture of my cat, and that was enough effort, and I'm done trying now. But I did try. So, I've compiled a list of all of the quizzes I could find on my own personal Tumblr, and then also Darian, other friend in the other corner, sent me a couple additional quizzes to work from.
Hi, I'm Darian. Nice to meet y'all.
We have been friends for nearly 15 years, and we argue about most things most of the time. Oh, also...
Whether or not they're important.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how life works. I assume volume is fairly okay? Nothing drastically loud or quiet? Okay, cool. Fantastic. Thank you.
I'm going to try to mute whenever I take a sip of my chai so no one has to hear me slurp.
That is probably a good idea. I need to resize this window a tiny bit so I can still see chat better. There we go. And I know this is very exciting as I figure out anything that I'm doing.
I mean, hey, they get to look at pictures of dogs and hats.
Yes, I was very considerate bringing up dogs and hats.
Dogs and hats are popular.
They're good. Okay, so I've got a collection of different quizzes that I pulled up from my personal Tumblr, and Darian sent me a few, and we're just gonna do quizzes.
I sent a few of probably lower quality.
That's okay. I mean, the ones that you sent are all, like, knowledge-based, so that'll be fun to argue about. Do you want to start with one in particular, or do you just want to roll the dice?
Not particularly. Your choice.
We could literally random number generate, roll the dice. I put them in a spreadsheet.
Let's do it up. Spreadsheets are fantastic.
Okay, pick a number between 2 and 28.
13.
Oh, I like
Wait,
this
why
one.
2? Why not 1?
Because the first row is for, what's the word? The
yeah.
column labels. I gotta label the columns. Okay. I like this one.
I would hope you like all of them.
Well, I assume I like all of them. I didn't look at any of them.
God.
So, do we want to do this, like, we can both run them in parallel? Like, I could send you the link on Discord, and then you can just answer. Yeah, sure. I can put the link in the chat, too. Here we go. There is the link to this quiz that I found on Tumblr. I don't remember who I reblogged it from, but, you know, such is life. So, there's the link if you want to play along at home. Darian, the link is in the Twitch chat. If you also want to play it along at home, I just realized that I forgot to actually text Matt to remind him.
Lol, Pokemon reference.
Okay. I should turn off my alerts. Anyway, so, yeah, basically. Okay, that means I don't need to remind you, because who else would use provenance? So, Darian, if you want to pull it up in your own browser window,
yep,
so that you can put in your own answers and have different answers and find out your own. Okay, what's the most important part of masculinity? Respecting others? Being a menace online? I know you're going to answer that one. Acts of great physical...
You mean, just because I'm a menace online doesn't mean that I think it's an important part of masculinity.
That's fair. It's just an important part of your personal life. That doesn't necessarily mean it has anything to do with masculinity.
At the same time, I don't really agree with... Well, I suppose curating a very specific, powerful aura, but that's more about whether or not someone sees you as a dad.
Uh-huh. I just fucking... God damn it. Hang on. I remembered something. No, I knew there was something that I forgot. I logged back into Twitch to look at it, and I was like, no, this looks fine. And no, I forgot to toggle the fucking VOD shit. Hang on. I'm not logged in on my...
Uh-oh, not the VOD shit.
Well, because I told my wife that I would save the VOD for her, but you know what? She can suffer, I guess. No, I'll fix it. Hang on. No, I won't do that. We'll pull up a different window so that you cannot see. Haha. I know how to do things, occasionally.
One would hope.
Okay, so presumably you cannot see this other window I just pulled up, right? You've just got the quiz up still?
Yeah.
Cool. So I can fix... I hope it lets me fix my settings now. Ooh, I have to mute this, though. Hang on. We're gonna get in a loop. Okay, we're safe. Because I'm just using, what's the word? I'm just using desktop audio for... That's so rude. Go away. I've got a pop-up on Twitch when I log in to fix my settings that says, you haven't streamed in a while. I'm streaming right now. I'm literally live right now. Okay, We'll do always publish builds. So that will publish by default, and then my wife can see it. Did I finish texting her, though? I'm doing a great job. Everyone should be very proud of me. Although, to be fair, this is literally my first stream, so standards should be low.
Wait, if this is your first stream, then how would you have not streamed for a while?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Twitch.
We are all very proud.
Thank you. I drew a little icon for myself and everything. Okay, so back to what we were actually doing, now that I've done all the stupid administrative stuff I forgot about. So, respecting others... yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just reading shit. Respecting others, being a menace online, acts of great physical and mental fortitude, or curating a very specific, powerful aura.
So I am going to choose being a menace online just because I disagree with everything else, but I feel your answer came from a bad place.
Okay, I acknowledge that you being a menace online is not strongly gendered for you as an individual. Obviously, I'm going to choose respecting others. Because I'm very irritating. Pick a fictional guy. We got Walter White. Okay, yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. You should choose whatever you want.
No, I know you're gonna choose Megamind. I don't know what I'm gonna choose. I haven't read them all because I'm gonna look at my spreadsheet. I last took this one 3 months ago, so I don't know any of the answers.
I saw Megamind and I went, ah!
We got Walter White, Garfield, the Orb Wizard, Remy Ratatouille, or Megamind. Like, honestly, I might also pick Megamind. Just because
He's such an underrated character. I have no idea why his movie didn't get bigger.
I still haven't watched it. I really want to, because it seems like I would like his vibes. You know?
So, the villain is a nice guy.
Uh-huh. Nice guy, capital N, capital G.
Yeah, and I feel that almost that alone means that this movie probably happened at the wrong time.
That's true. It might have done better if that was a more commonly understood archetype.
But also, like, it has my favorite line in it. And it's, this city isn't big enough for 2 supervillains. Oh, you're a villain, all right. Just not a super one. Oh yeah? What's the difference? And then Megamind in this giant holographic head in the clouds just walks out on his tongue and just in the most flamboyant way possible poses and yells out, "Presentation!" And it's so good.
I mean, it does sound very good and dramatic. I need to close this cookie pop-up.
It's just so over the top.
And Remy's surname is Ratatouille, just like Master Chief's surname is Halo.
Ratatouille is an interesting movie because I disagree with some people's analysis that Remy was the secret villain all along, and I feel that a lot of that comes from a problem that I think I'm the only one to notice, in which case Ratatouille doesn't really have a villain. If you look at the big or the tiny ugly chef Skinner from a human perspective, the only thing he ever does is tries to keep his restaurant up to code and tries to make a brand deal for a what's it called, frozen meal thing. The one thing that could have catapulted him into villain status, which is holding back the will or whatever that named the kid as the son of whatever the chef's name is,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have that letter long enough to withhold him. Essentially, he read it, and then Remy stole the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, within a minute of each other, these events happen as the dude's trying to figure out what to go on. Because in something like this, you can't hand off a restaurant like that to an untested, untrained busboy.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's his right, this is something where you need to sit him down and carefully go over how businesses are
Run.
run, managed, the kinds of things he's going to need to do if he wants to be the head chef of this restaurant, and like be very realistic. Hey, you are going to essentially need to be an entirely different person if you want to actually run this restaurant rather than just reap the benefits of having it open.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very serious, deep conversation that nobody's going to be able to instantly figure out how to have with the kid.
I mean, like, it's
and like,
also...
Go ahead.
Well, it's also just worth taking into account that, like, a movie doesn't necessarily have to have a villain at all. Like, it can also just have a lot of minor antagonists that still build a general plot.
Right, but the thing that I'm trying to point out is Ratatouille is written like a story that has a villain, but they forgot to actually write Chef Skinner as a villain in something other than he's an ugly, angry dude.
They just react to him as if he is the villain, even when he hasn't really done anything that would qualify as villainous. I mean, like, one could also make a counter argument that, like, if somebody is doing actions that actively stymie the protagonist, even from the perspective of a reader, if those actions are well reasoned, like that, you can still make an argument that that's still villainous actions. But also, I'm not super invested in Ratatouille, and we might want to move to the next question.
That's more antagonist, because I will say that argument then makes Goofy from a Goofy movie a villain, and he's kind of not. He's just an antagonist.
I think that there's a lot of different ways that it can be taken too. But anyway, I'm just gonna pick Megamind, and we're gonna go to the next question. This is exactly what I told everyone was going to happen, though. It's literally labeled "What is the dumbest thing we can bicker about?"
This, what's the dumbest thing we can? Well, be wrong about, bicker about, whatever.
I mean, we have properly managed expectations. Now we're going to talk about Ratatouille for an hour. Anyway. So, weekend plans, hiking in a national park, skipping the line at an extremely exclusive nightclub, putting meats on the grill, oh yeah baby, personal doom spiral.
Just the way you said that.
I don't know why you would expect anything different from me. Or taking over the tri-state area. I'm
torn between putting meats on the grill, because I do like cooking good meats occasionally. But also, if I had the energy, I would absolutely be taking over the tri-state area.
And if I had the energy, I'd be hiking in a national park, so...
Okay, then you hike in a park, and I will take over the tri-state area.
It
has plenty of parks you can hike in.
Just make sure that when you take them over, you still have a solid Parks and Recreation service, and we'll be fine. Are you a picky eater? I'm not picky, I have taste. Food is great, all of it. Currently in my bagel and cream cheese era. Yeah. Or, I'll eat whatever. Yeah. I know you're not in your bagel and cream cheese area.
I'm not picky, I have taste.
Yeah, that does sound like something you would say. You're not super picky in general, though. You have, like, a few things that you're like, no, this is off limits, and then everything else is, like, fine.
Well, it's because, like, I acknowledge that my flavors are... that what I taste can't be the same thing as what other people taste, because when I taste cream cheese, I'm tasting something that my body fully rejects, and there's no possible way that I'm tasting what other people are tasting.
Mm-hmm.
So I acknowledge that it's my taste that's different.
I think that saying something tastes bad kind of carries an implicit to you most of the time, because there's a lot of things that people say taste bad that still obviously taste good to other people. Like, fucking, what's the lutefisk? The fermented shark or whatever? Yeah. Like, clearly there are some people that think that tastes great. Okay. I don't remember. There's many fermented fish dishes, and a lot of people have strong opinions on them in both directions.
Happy families are all the same. Each unhappy family is unhappy in their own way.
I mean, to be fair, I've known a lot of unhappy families, and they're all pretty similar, honestly.
You're not wrong.
What is your deadly sin?
Lust. God, I'm torn between sloth and pride.
Yeah, we know my answer is wrath.
I'm happy that many of our answers are very different. I'm going to go with pride, which probably shouldn't surprise you.
No, it doesn't. But at the same time, I think that you probably think you're more prideful than you actually are.
Maybe.
I'm glad that the two people in chat are having a good time. Describe your bestie. Oh, I remember exactly what I answered for this one, though. Can you guess?
Oh my god, my wife.
Yeah, I love my wife a lot.
I heard and you probably already know which answer is mine. I would kill for them, die for them.
Yeah.
But, someone recently, described their impression of me, and it was the most... Is it okay if I share this on stream?
I don't know. I don't know what you're going to share.
Oh, I sent it to you the other day.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't mind.
They described me in a way that just makes me feel warm and fuzzy, because this is exactly what I seek to do in my entire life. They said, I perceive you as loyal, not just to others, but to yourself and your convictions. And I call it loyalty because you practice the values you express. And like, oh, that just hit me right in my heart. Yes, they do.
To Paleographer's point, yeah, that if I didn't already have a wife I love very much, I would probably answer the cat, even though she keeps stomping around on the desk. Like, you know, I can also be very intense, but like, let's
You're
be realistic
but
here.
You're also cute.
I appreciate it. It is not exclusive to my bestest friend.
Herb.
Oh, did I laugh too loud?
Yeah, but like for a split second.
Maybe I should turn the threshold down on that one. I'll tinker with it some other time. But
no, it's fine, because if you turn the threshold down anymore, we're not gonna see it at all.
No, if I turn the threshold down, we see it more.
Oh, that's what. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm dumb.
That's okay. That's how thresholds work. That's all. But like, I understand that some people reserve I would kill for them, die for them, for like their bestest friend ever, only the most important person. But it's like, I mean, it depends on the circumstance, you know?
But like, I would kill for half the people I call my friends.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I don't think it's a problem, but then again, that also is probably a problem.
I haven't, but if circumstances required, I wouldn't necessarily be against the idea. So, I picked my wife. I love my wife. Pick a video game. Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, okay. Stardew Valley, Subnautica. I'm a mom against video games.
Subnautica
Minecraft
has to be the greatest game that I can never play.
Yeah, no, because of the whole ocean thing.
And it gets the whole ocean thing just very well in a way that I could not play it for more than a half hour because it was just hitting me right there in my lizard brain.
Yeah. And Stardew Valley is very good. Stardew Valley is very good, but I think I'm gonna go with Minecraft for this one.
I'm gonna go with Minecraft 2 because it doesn't say Stardew Valley with 80 different mods.
That's true. You love to mod your games. I don't. I have one Minecraft mod downloaded, which is just a map.
I have modded Skyrim, Minecraft, and Stardew Valley. What do you mean I love modding my games? Those are 3 games that I've modded.
Yeah, but like, how many do most people tend to mod? Like, you have to look at it on a grand scale average, not just like, okay, how many video games has my wife modded versus how many video games has my best friend modded.
Okay, but like, how many video games that play video games as much as I do people mod? Wait, that question came out wrong, but I think you know what I mean.
No, yeah.
A lot of people mod more games than me.
Some people mod more games than you. Some people do not. It varies a lot within gaming. I understand that those are like the 3 main games to mod also.
Anyway, hi people. This is Birb and I arguing constantly.
Like I said, we are delivering on what I promised. Congratulations. Could I take you home to meet my parents?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Parents love me for some reason.
I have been threatened to be adopted so many times.
There have been a lot of parents who have like embarrassed their daughter by saying, "Oh, we should meet up with him sometime. You laugh so much when you're talking to him." And it's like, holy hell.
Invent a new type of guy.
Invent a new type of guy.
Guy who saves the packaging from all his video games but just puts it in a box in his closet.
Picture of a dude who's been photocopied too much.
Save a franchise. The rest will never produce content again. I know which one you're going to pick. You're going to pick Pokemon.
I mean, okay, yes, normally I would just pick Pokemon, but also these are kind of crap.
Yeah,
Barbie are half-hour to hour-long advertisements. Star Wars, it's widely accepted that its best days are far behind it. Star Trek, same thing.
People like the recent Star Trek
exception of Below Decks.
People, I think I've heard good things about the other recent Star Trek series too, though. Not that
really?
I can remember its name, but no,
Either
yeah,
way,
like
Marvel can do something that I don't think you want me to say on your stream, because seriously, I don't want to dedicate 30 hours of movie watching just to watch the one-off movie that I want to understand.
I'm gonna save Barbie though, because like I understand how you feel about it. I personally disagree. That might also just be because we were raised. I never watched the Barbie movies as a kid, honestly, but just like.
Then why are you saving Barbie?
Because there's a lot more substance to what I do know about the Barbie movies than what I do know about League of Legends, Marvel, Star Wars, or Star Trek. And, like, honestly, Pokemon is like, there's enough.
No, there's not.
There's plenty. I'm saving Barbie. Oh. Does that mean we have to do the which Pokemon is fake next? To make you feel better?
Maybe.
How do you feel about parenthood?
I, at one point, wanted to be a parent, but I'm not so sure at this point, so I'm just gonna say, not for me personally.
Yeah, like, I think kids deserve a lot more care and respect than they tend to get. Like, I am also very tired.
I can't believe how many adults forget about when they were kid and they were absolutely certain that they knew themselves. Like, of course you didn't, but would you have ever listened to any adult who said so?
I mean, sometimes
No.
they just did, though.
What?
I mean, sometimes kids genuinely do just know themselves.
Either way, they at the very least feel like they know themselves, and you can't really convince them otherwise until they experience otherwise. And so, like, always acting like you know better, you know very well you would not have responded to that, so why are you doing the same thing with your kid?
Yeah, I think...
They need to be treated like people, not pets.
Yes, they are literally human beings, and a lot of people tend to lose sight of that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unfortunate and causes a lot of problems that I have to fix later.
Anyway, I think we agree on this one, not
Yeah,
for me personally.
I am happy to be a positive influence.
Stopping what?
I'm happy to be a positive influence on other kids.
On other people's kids, yeah.
Yes. What is your favorite type of guy? I like positive and kind. I know
Curious and mischievous.
Yeah, that is also good, but like in terms of like what kind of guy, like.
Okay, actually, you're right on this one. If I was into dudes, yeah, positive and kind.
Like in terms of who I would want to. Yes, there is an argument to be made. There's an argument to be made for hot and sexy, but personally, if I have to choose between one or the other, I'd rather have, someone who's mediocre looking but very nice, as opposed to someone, yes, a himbo. Himbos are an excellent choice. But if I have to choose between kind or sexy, I'm gonna choose kind.
But also, I just want it to be out there. Chaos goblins are awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because I am one.
I know. But, again, if you are chaotic without being kind, I'm good. I'll pass. Thank you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because if you are chaotic without being kind, you are exhausting. What are there? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
I also got Wi-Fi apparently.
Look, we kind of expected this of me. I love my wife very much.
I don't get happiest guy in Connecticut.
Oh, it's a reference to Connecticut. What's his name? Connecticut Carl? We're gonna find out.
Who?
Oh, Connecticut Clark. Thank you, my own search history. Thank you also, chat. No. Not right now. I'm sorry. Why? Connecticut Clark.
What? I see that it's a thing on Know Your Meme, but also I'm just as confused as the people in the comic.
I mean, it's got you vibes. You have to acknowledge that.
No, I don't have to admit it because I don't understand.
He's an extremely average guy from Connecticut who is inviting the demon witch to his parents' house for dinner.
Why?
Because he likes her.
I do not want the Connecticut water. Oh, so apparently there's an actual solid reason why a lot of people view New York pizza made in New York as some of the best pizza, and apparently it has nothing to do with the style of pizza.
Isn't it just they got weird chemicals in their water or something?
No, the exact opposite is that certain parts of New York are at the absolute lower legal limit of fluorine in the water.
Ah, okay. So it's
And
less
fluoridated
chemicals.
water, yeah, exactly. And fluoridated water can cause more rubbery dough.
Uh-huh.
And so the dough ends up a straight up better version of the dough.
Uh-huh.
And so it's less about New York pizza and more pizza made in New York.
Uh-huh.
But not that anyone from New York will ever admit
acknowledge the difference. Yeah. Do you want to do the fake Pokemon one next as consolation for me saying there's enough Pokemon in the world?
Yes.
Okay.
Positive and kind and dumb and hot.
I didn't know that. That Portland doesn't have any fluoride. Although I also don't know which Portland you mean off the top of my head.
I think that America has a federal lower limit of fluoride in the water. So I'm not sure where that Portland is. True, yes.
Yeah, no.
True.
You should let me answer this one first, since I know less about Pokemon than you do.
Fair enough.
So, I know that Sandshrews... Are these all Gen 1? Like, is that all they're gonna do? Cause, like, I know Sandshrew and Squirtle. I have their cards. Yes. I know what a Togepi is. That one's fake. Haha. Crumlog is fake. Okay, Portland, Oregon. Pineapplesaur is also fake, although you could maybe make an argument for, like, an Execute, maybe. Or not Execute, Executor. I'm not gonna... You're good. You don't need more data. Haha.
Execute is, coconuts.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so... Portland... We're deciding whether these description of Pokemon is fake or real. But apparently, Ixrigardo says Portland has no fluoride at all. Sweep is also definitely fake. I know Rowlet is real. I had one. I named it Casio. Hootlocks sounds fake. I know Onyx is real. This is not much of a challenge. Squidnana is also fake. Okay. I regret to inform you I did 100%.
Maybe we should find a different real or fake Pokemon quiz.
I'm gonna let you find one and send it to me, because I don't want to just roll the dice on the void. Yeah, there's some people that are, like, really paranoid about fluoride in general, and it's like, I mean, like, there's probably some effects if you have way too much, but also, I don't think that we're dosing people to a degree that we need to be super concerned at this point in time. There are worse things in our water. So, do you want to find a different... Yeah, well, that's true. There's always going to be...
Well, I found a good one, but it's 100 questions.
That's a little excessive. There are always going to be people that react to basically any substance. Like, it is important to take that into account. But it's also impossible to make the world entirely substance neutral, unfortunately. And there has to be if there are commercial filters available that are adequate for the people who react to fluoride, then that's kind of fair. So, do we want to pick another one from the list, then?
This one actually isn't bad because it even has a lot of unofficial Pokemon art for the actual Mons. So
instead
yeah,
of just the weird photoshopped eyeballs.
Right.
Okay. Are you gonna send it in
Well, I mean, even it varies the stuff on the art styles on purpose, so that you can't just tell whether or not it's official Pokemon art.
That makes sense. Okay. Do you...
I sent it to you in...
Discord, I see the notification.
Yes.
Okay. So, I forgot to send the last one in the Twitch chat, but it wasn't worth sending anyway. So, I'll send this one. Got too many icons on my bar here. I gotta tidy my computer at some point. So, blah blah blah. Bye. Thanks for hanging out.
See ya.
So, I think the lava anteater is fake. Oh, that's real? I've never heard of that one. Okay, I kind of figured once you mentioned Portland, so thanks for stopping by, Diane.
I do have good taste in games. I'm not so sure about them.
Yeah, Bye. No, we're doing the Midwestern goodbyes at this point. Everybody say goodbye 10 times in a row and maybe we'll be done.
Bye.
But I have taste in games that is specific to me, and I really don't care how it applies to anyone else.
My buddy Diva calls it an Armenian goodbye.
I think that everybody in every location calls it a goodbye specific to that location, because I think everybody does it. But it comes
Unless it's New York, because New Yorkers actually sometimes know how to say goodbye.
Yeah, well, I noticed that it's a lot more common with my Midwestern family members than it is with, like, you know, my West Coast friends. So, Jerbola sounds fake also. Okay, I got that one correct. Ah, the picture didn't load, but I've heard of Ampharos before, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Well, I know that one's real. That one's official art, even. The Turtonator. I know Fortress is real. I've seen that one before. I think Luxalong is fake. That looks... It's a bit too close to a Neopet. You know?
You would be surprised at how close to Neopets some of these Mons are.
No, there is an important distinction in the character design sensibilities, though. Like, this one has the big, stumpy legs. And it's got a broader face. It looks more like something you would see on Neopets.
Have you seen Fido?
Yes. Megalopunny is also real. Is it kind of cheating by specifying the mega form? Chimiconda also looks fake. That sounds like a Neopet too. Or like, not... Like, you know how there's Fakeamon, right? There are also fake Neopets. This has strong fake Neopets vibes. That is clearly official art because it's got the sun-moon background. That's kind of cheating. I haven't seen this before, but I'm going based... Oh, okay. So, they deliberately tricked me, and it worked. So, Hambo and Harambe is fake. And Durant is real.
Prey of the first one.
Uh-huh. It does. Something like they've specifically chimeraed a chimichanga together with something else. See, this also has extremely strong Neopets vibes. That's a Neopet. I think that there's just a... Now, this one, the image didn't load for Ink Shark, but I've seen it before, so it's real. No, it's fake. But isn't there a different hammerhead one?
There, as far as I'm aware, there isn't currently a hammerhead shark.
Okay.
There is an anchor Pokemon, but I don't think there's a hammerhead shark. And there is a normal shark, Sharpedo.
Yeah.
Which evolves from a piranha.
I know Vanillix is real. One of my old friends was fascinated with it. I know Azurill is real, even though that's not official art at all. I know Corphish is real. The design itself for Lucaris looks solid, but the name sounds fake. I'm gonna say fake.
Good.
But you see how this one has a very different design sensibility from a lot of the other fake ones I've been calling Neopets?
I suppose.
I know Gardevoir is real. That's your favorite.
Well, yeah, there's... Why did they include that one in this?
I mean, it's not the most popular Pokemon. Like, it's easy to have not encountered a Gardevoir unless you're actively in the fandom seeing everybody's fan art.
Well, I mean, if you played Ruby Sapphire, no, you will have encountered at least one Gardevoir.
I mean, like, it's really easy to miss one game in the series, though, too.
Fair enough.
I think Landorus is fake, mostly just because that's... Oh, really?
Mostly because why?
The description, a hybrid between a genie and a bodybuilder, is, like, a little too humanoid. And the art is deliberately very indistinct and impressionist.
There is a human-like egg group.
I know that there are...
includes things like Mr. Mime.
I know that there are multiple humanoid Pokemon. It's just, like, you could describe Machamp as a bodybuilder, you know, but, like...
Yes.
It doesn't seem right. I know Smoochum is real. I've seen it before. That's fake. Frostle. That's got very Fakeamon vibes.
That's got Digimon vibes, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, the art in particular has kind of Digimon vibes, but in terms of, like, the design from Evolution to Evolution, that's very Fakeamon vibes. They tried. They did try.
Oh, fair enough. It doesn't have enough guns for Digimon.
There are plenty of Digimon with 0 guns. I know Dunsparce in general is real, but I don't know what that is. Okay, so they don't have a name for him yet, essentially. Yeah, whatever. No? Okay.
No.
Klefki's real. It's one of my favorites. It's very cute. It's literally just a ring of keys that is cursed.
And it jingles.
I like it. See, Drampa also doesn't quite match the art style. That's more like Wind Waker. But it is real.
Aw, dang. I was hoping it was going to catch you.
No. Tofurang also looks fake. Although it does have the Pokemon eyes, at least. Comite and Carmeteor also runs into that same Fakeamon evolution weakness. I'm guessing that's fake. Okay. I got 80%. That's not bad.
I suppose that's a better quiz.
Yeah. That's a lot easier than just, hey, have you heard of Squirtle before? I have heard of Squirtle before, thank you. Okay.
You know, if you're not in the Pokemon fandom, you may not have run into it before.
No, that's not true. My mother knows what a Squirtle is. Do you want to pick another number between 2 and 28, and I'll tell you if you pick a repeat?
27.
Okay, so this one is under the soft category instead of the silly category. It's, if you were a deity, what would you be the deity of?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, you're right. That does sound like something from Taco Bell. I want a chimichanga now.
Okay, I am remembering to send it to the chat this time. I am learning how to do things. I'm learning in real time. So the usual disclaimer is just a bit of fun. They made up some cool stuff and wanted to share it. You set up? You chugging your tea?
No, yes, sorry. I am set up.
Okay. Yeah, the idea of letting you guys play along also is a good one, and I should have thought of it, but instead you thought of it, and I appreciate it.
Viking. Sorry, you should probably read these.
Okay. If you had lived hundreds of years ago, who would you have been? Priest or monk who doubts and struggles with his faith in a clifftop monastery? Shepherd who visits the nearby pasture shrine to offer prayers every day at twilight? Daughter of a wealthy merchant who becomes a nun rather than marry a man, sounds gay. Someone who observed and mapped the movements of the heavens. A warrior, pirate, emperor, or Joan of Arc. A Viking explorer who expects his ship to fall off the world any day now. The person who steps up and takes charge when their peaceful village was under attack and is victorious. Or a young sculptor who falls hopelessly in love with her. Well, you know, you're aware that that's like an ancient Greek myth, right?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Shoot. I know her name. It was Galatea. Pygmalion.
Yes.
Yeah, Pygmalion was absolutely a weeb with a waifu pillow who happened to love his waifu pillow enough and make a good enough waifu pillow that Aphrodite said, sure, why
not? He Velveteen Rabbited his waifu. I am torn between Shepherd and protecting the village. What do you think?
I mean, I'm definitely someone who observed and mapped the movements of the heavens.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, you've also known me for 15 years. Help me out here.
What do you choose? Steps up or...
Shepherd.
I'd honestly say Shepherd.
Yeah, I think it also kind of depends on, like, what time in my life, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But the shepherding is going to take up the majority of it, either way. What climate suits you? Broad, rocky, or sandy desert shimmering with heat? Absolutely not, thank you. Mountains where forest turns to snow as you ascend? Dense tropic jungle thick with life? I mean, we're not wrong. We're not wrong about Pygmalion. Arid scrubland with canyons and rock formations. The grasslands.
Wait, what was the piping hot take on Pygmalion? That he was a weeb?
Yeah, he Velveteen Rabbited his waifu.
I mean, I suppose Birb is recording this, so you can send it to them.
I mean, you can also literally just text someone, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
Arid scrubland with canyons and rock formations, the grasslands, warm lavender fields and rolling plains, the craggy moors, mists and bogs of the northern European islands, polar ice, the aurora borealis and the seas of the far north, the tundra, the fjords, and the quiet snowy forests. I'm gonna go with mountains.
Okay, I'm torn between mountains and the tundra.
See, you like the idea of the tundra. I don't think you would want to actually be in the tundra.
You know what? That's right. I'm mountains where forest turns to snow as you ascend to.
Yes. Which is your favorite constellation? The only one I can find. That's Orion.
I like the Southern Cross because it's useful.
That's fair. No, I know I want a herd of wool-bearing animals in real life, but it's worth it. It is also worth taking into account I went into a combat MOS on purpose. So they're both equally true. But I'm picking Orion because it's the only one I can find. Like, that is the only constellation I can identify in real life. That's it. So, what is your ideal current location? In a fragrant rose garden at dusk, probably in a flowing gown. Going on a long walk or hike with friends. On the shore of the sea or a lake as the sun begins to sink knee-deep in water. At a concert in an empty church or having a wine night with the girls. That's 3. At a neon truck stop by the highway at night or in a supermarket in the early hours.
That's you.
I know. Reading or sleeping on a broad tree branch with sunlight filtering through the leaves above. Shaking Bernie Sanders' hand as he wins the damn presidency. I don't need to shake his hand. Going out with friends, getting drunk, and or smoking. No, yeah, liminal spaces rule. I want to be in a liminal space. I'm going to live in a liminal space.
I gotta say, I would be willing to do the flowing gown. I mean, fragrant rose garden at dusk, watching the sun go down.
Yeah, I mean it's probably nice, but of the options available, where am I going to be happiest?
Yeah, you're going to be happiest in a place that may or may not exist.
Yeah.
Once you leave,
and is definitely cursed either way. Although I would, Shore of the Sea is a close second, though. Which one do you pick?
Rose Garden.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Do you disagree?
No, I don't disagree. How would you ideally want people to describe you? Wistful, artistic, excitable, vigorous, intense, charismatic, sociable, has lots of friends, well-liked, trusted, valued, heard, free-spirited, independent, and practical, intelligent, organized, and kind, principled, opinionated, and moral, or chill, easygoing, and funny. The most valuable thing that you can be is trusted. That's easy.
God, but at the same time, I'm torn between 4 through 7, really.
Yeah, I think... Because part of the problem is I think that you would like to be described as principled, but I don't think you're comfortable identifying yourself as moral.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Because even if I can be considered as such, I strongly believe that I shouldn't be the measuring stick by whether or not someone considers someone to be a good person. Because, and I know I've ranted to you about this in several occasions, despite me being a generally good person, I do consider myself fairly freaking selfish.
It is important to understand that selfishness and immorality don't necessarily have any relation to one another. You can be the most selfless person alive and also be deeply, deeply immoral.
I suppose. I still think that there are sufficient flaws in me and my outlook that I don't think I should be counted among the good people. I am good enough, is what I'm willing to unbend for. But...
Well, I don't. Yeah, understanding your own personal limitations is a good thing.
Yeah, but it's also kind of rough when everybody else describes you as a good person. You're like, no, I'm not. There are so many things that I could be doing better that I actively choose not to.
Just because you are not a literal angel best person alive doesn't inherently mean you're not a good person. We can argue about this another time. This is a little bit of a personal subject for you.
You know what? Fair enough.
So,
I'm going to go
practical.
With trusted, valued, heard.
Okay. I was thinking maybe you should go with practical instead, because you do also value your independence a lot.
Fair enough. In that case, I value my independence enough to go with what you told me to do.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. No one's doing the maximum of what they can all the time. Like, you think I'm a pretty good person, and I am exhausted. I am doing a fraction of what I'm capable of.
No, you're not, because you're exhausted.
We'll argue about this later. This is this is something that should be argued about, like, at least kind of privately. What is
Fair
the
enough.
first thing you will do when you get out of quarantine? If I ever get out of quarantine, I love being chronically ill. It's the best. Immediately go see my friends and express affection. You bitches are gonna come see me. I'm not gonna travel anymore. Go see a significant other and spend time on a date or just together. Do a certain activity I've missed, e.g., a restaurant or cinema or museum. Show gratitude to a healthcare worker and disdain towards government. I can do that from home for free.
Yeah, same.
Do a certain activity I've missed. I want to go to the zoo so bad. Like, my wife said that we could go to the zoo after our wedding, and our other partner said that we could go to the zoo, and I didn't get to go to either one of those zoos, and I want to go to the zoo.
You know, for someone who hates the ocean, I sure do like the aquarium.
The aquarium rules. And also, like, it helps kind of demystify the ocean, because part of what you don't like about it is you can't fucking see what's in there. But in the aquarium, you can see what's in there.
Well,
it's right there.
I mean, even when I can see what's in there, it's almost worse.
Uh-huh. Okay. This one's hard. What kids' adventure book series was your favorite? There's a lot of them. I'm not going to read them all.
There was a How to Train Your Dragon book?
I guarantee you there was, yes. Regardless of whether it was a movie novelization or the inspiration for the movie.
Oh, God. I never finished Maximum Ride. I just realized that.
Apparently you shouldn't bother. I watched
I shouldn't?
Yeah, I watched like a 2-hour video the other day talking about Maximum Ride and how after the original trilogy it goes downhill really fast. What
Never heard of Skullduggery Pleasant.
I haven't either. The most honest answer is Harry Potter, because that my friends and I used to literally just walk in circles around the playground at our Catholic elementary school, making up Harry Potter fanfiction while we walked in circles.
I'm gonna say Artemis Fowl, and that shouldn't surprise you.
No, it does not surprise me in the slightest. You would love Artemis Fowl if you hadn't already read it. Oh, right. I remember being irritated about this question because they were missing both good options. But pick a tarot card. And if you don't remember stuff about symbolism, you can just pick one. Because they don't have strength. Oh, wait, no, they do have strength. It's right here. Did they not have strength before? Okay, but they have strength now. That's important.
I mean... Justice.gif.
Uh-huh. I don't know what the Mad Scientist Club is.
I've never heard of the Mad Scientist Club. However, shoot, what was it called? If the Three Investigators was up there, that was my jam.
Uh-huh. I've never heard of that either, honestly.
It was a kids mystery, but presented in a very different way than like the Hardy Boys or whatever, in which the Hardy Boys often hid a lot of very important clues.
Yeah, mystery through obfuscation and just not giving you answers, as opposed to mystery through giving you hints and clues and letting you figure it out yourself.
Whereas the in the Three Investigators, a major plot point was there was a jeweled spider of a prominent foreign family that was necessary for the coronation of someone that the guys ended up friends with.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point during the book, they make a point of talking about how a guy noticed a spider web that had 2 spiders in it.
That's weird.
And 2 same-size spiders. And that's where the jeweled spider was hidden.
Okay.
But the book actually points out something that one of the characters noticed, even if they glossed over it.
Yeah. They give you enough information that you can actually play along at home.
Yes, Jupiter Jones was fucking boss. The only downside is that yes, that one thing that always bothered me is that how many people collated, I think collated is the right word, junkyards with
correlated
maybe junkyards with dumps, and the two are not at all the same.
I mean, they are related to each other, but it's important to understand that there's a difference.
Yes, but typically junkyards don't smell like ass with a bunch of dog poo piled on top.
Context dependent.
Fair enough. Anyway, Justice.
I didn't read Encyclopedia Brown either.
Neither did I.
You would think I would, though, because, like, my parents gave me a bunch of, like, hand-me-down Hardy Boys books and stuff. Like, old publications. But,
Anyway, choose one.
An ancient bronze lyre engraved with songbirds. Glasses that let you see possible features and suit you perfectly. Do they let me see the present, though?
Do they let me see stock prices?
No, like, do they still have prescription corrective lenses, please?
I mean, you can always change to different glasses.
Yeah, but if the possible futures are all as out of focus as my eyeballs currently are, like, that doesn't help me.
Ooh.
A sack of gold just enough that you can pay off all your debt and live happily within your means for the rest of your life. The ability to bless or curse people as you see fit. A spring that endows immortality on those who drink from it. A honey-colored grandfather clock that started ticking the very moment you were born. That sounds ominous. An old compass that points unerringly towards something, but it's definitely not north. Or a centuries-old golden astrolabe with your name mysteriously carved onto it. So what are you oohing at?
So, 3 things that I really want.
Mm-hmm.
1, the sack of gold,
mm-hmm.
because I would just love to not have to deal with that.
Yeah.
2, my sense of adventure, an old compass that points unerringly towards something,
mm-hmm.
but it's definitely not north. And then, when we get to the whole, I'm not really a good person, the ability to bless or curse people as I see fit. There are so many people in this world that I would be spending the next, 3 days just constantly layering curse after curse after curse after curse. Because, justice. A lot of people getting away with things that they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's important to take into account also that you can use those blessings to also make it so they can't get away with things by blessing the people that they're targeting.
Yeah, but also the thing that my mind immediately went to was cursing, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
It's not, but I love you anyway.
I will be the most benevolent evil overlord ever.
See, I'm also torn between the sack of gold and the ability to bless or curse people as you see fit. But I'm kind of leaning towards the ability to bless or curse because,
you could bless yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there is that. But also, my wife is employed finally.
Ooh.
It's not as necessary as it would have been, 6 months ago. So, I'm going to go with bless or curse, and I'm going to use mostly blessings, and you're going to use mostly curses. Okay, I got a different result than I did last time. The Temple. You are steadfast, kind, and dependable, and have a habit of making people feel safe when they talk to you. They gravitate towards you because of the patience and calm you exude and can trust you implicitly. You have a knack for saying the right thing and have learned to bear your pain with a tolerance and grace that goes unnoticed by many but seen by the important few. You're allergic to drama and conflict, that's false, but know when and where to stand your ground, all the time, everywhere. You tend not to be reckless and hasty, as the times you have done so in the past cause pain. That's also not true. You are prone to embarrassment. When you feel you've blundered, the shame is almost overwhelming. And that's true of most people. Even though you may not see your own worth as clearly as you should, those around you are determined to stay with you because you make them feel like they're at home, accepted unconditionally. The best kind of person. As a deity, you're the god of stability, of healing, of sanctuary and safe harbor, of faithfulness and commitment, of mountains, of fields, of growing old, of effort and humble reward, of autumn, of prosperity and kindness of spirit. Mixed bag. What'd you get?
I am the mirror shard. You would describe yourself as laid back, pleasant, casual, and above all funny. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, you pride yourself on the ease with which you move through life. Your affability, the way you come across to others.
It's the autism.
Yeah, it's the autism. You see the world in a unique way, and that few know what it truly feels like to be you. However, your childhood wasn't easy, and that's a fact that you don't broadcast. People didn't love you the way they should have and put their own wants and needs above your own. Okay.
Yeah, I got some opinions about that.
You were left out or burdened with too much responsibility for the child you were.
I don't think that.
Yeah. Because of this, your friends are the most important thing in your life. Don't allow yourself to lose hope in people because of your past, because cynicism will only get you so far. Go fuck yourself. Protective walls... Cynicism is the only thing keeping me going at this point.
At this point, it is a useful coping mechanism for the time being. Also, apparently everyone else got mirror shard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Protective walls are safe, but they inhibit the growth you know you're capable of. As a deity, you're the god of friendship, of water, of rain, of forgiveness, of self-image, wisdom, and cleverness. Writing, pain, and you are the god most commonly named when groups of friends come together. Okay, I'm good with that.
Also kind of a mixed bag, but I feel like enough of it seems to fit for you, right?
I also feel that these are written to be somewhat general.
Yeah, that's how personality quizzes work.
So what
I'm adding to my spreadsheet.
To
in general, the most common result is the temple, followed by the one that I got last time, the Wayfaring Stranger. But Paleographer and William Shakespeare both also got the mirror shard.
Yeah, I see that. So I suppose we're reflecting each other.
Oh no. That's where the demons live.
Just us, several shards of mirrors in the same general vicinity.
Can I pick which one we do next? I just saw one I want to do.
Sure.
Okay. We're doing which absolutely fucking stupid classic lit character are you? I know.
Absolutely what?
Fucking stupid.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
I love to be a moron.
Give me a second to get some more tea.
More tea. I don't have any tea. I just have a water bottle.
Giving myself some cinnamon apple spice.
Ooh.
So let's see. What absolutely fucking stupid classic lit character are you? I both do and do not want the answer to this. Because I am afraid.
Yeah. I very distinctly remember what I got last time because it was very funny and true. But I will save that for the grand reveal, I suppose. A good reaction to being stabbed? A plague on both your houses. Casually removing the knife and continuing to talk as if nothing has happened. Nice try, but not even God can kill me. Or, okay, real shit, if I got stabbed, I'd probably die. I'm gonna go with casually removing the knife. Because I would. We know this.
I'm probably gonna go with nice try, but not even God can kill me. Because, let's be honest, at this point in the story, by the time I get stabbed, unless it's an assassination attempt, I am probably already being fueled by pure rage.
Uh-huh.
Real shit, if I got stabbed, I'd probably die.
I mean, we would all probably die if we got stabbed. Context dependent. Is that all is also a good answer. A good reason to get married. Boredom. Being able to say that's my spouse with unbelievable pride. I have already clicked on that one. Because you've been in love with them for ages. I mean, that's also true. To piss off homophobes. I mean, technically.
All of these apply to you.
Except for I'm too sexually repressed to get married because I'm already married.
I'm torn with, I'm torn between sexually repressed and because I've been in love with them ages. Because let's be honest, if I'm gonna get married, I'm probably gonna be close friends with them for like more than 10 years.
Yeah. Probably if you get married to someone, it's because you love them very much for a long time. But, like, yeah. I already got wife guy last time. We have to go with that's my spouse. Right? She's my wife. I love her. Pick a dumb bitch fictional dynamic. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Is it just Aziraphale?
I think so.
Okay, and Crowley. The 10th Doctor and Donna. Mulder and Scully. Bert and Ernie. Jake and Amy. Or Frodo and Sam. I think I'm going to go with the 10th Doctor and Donna. Because they're having a good time. Have you seen the production of Much Ado About Nothing that has David Tennant and Catherine Tate in the leads?
No, I haven't.
It's so good.
Is it still just the 10th Doctor and Donna?
I mean, like, it is very much the chemistry that they had together in those roles, having a great time playing off of each other.
Gotcha.
But
Much Ado About Nothing is the one where there's this, God, is that the one where...
It's the most romantic comedy.
All of this drama in the background with two of these absolute shitheads causing most of the drama, and then in the end the two shitheads decide that they like being shitheads together and get married?
It is something close to that, yeah.
I need to watch more versions of Much Ado About Nothing. It's been a while. I vaguely recall that.
But the version with David Tennant and Catherine Tate is on archive.org, so it should be findable. So, pick a line, phrase, cool piece of imagery from a fan fiction. Do you not wish at all times for a soul made afresh? He seems to have twice as much life as anyone else, or perhaps he's just working through his store of life twice as fast as everyone else does. Yeah, the one with Emma Thompson would have Emma Thompson in it. That's probably a point in his favor. The warmth trapped beneath his skin ought to last for eternity. He had cast himself as the lead actor as well as the director in the manicured motion picture of his life. She is never so cruel as to let him wander without the reassurance of her voice. Oh, they made each other laugh so much. It made the hard times easier to bear.
You probably... Well, maybe. The one I'm going with is she is never so cruel as to let him wander without the reassurance of her voice.
Yeah, I can see where you'd get that, but I'm going with working through his store of life twice as fast as everyone else because that's a chronic illness mood.
Yeah.
I literally skipped all of being an adult. I went from college to old age. Which one did you pick?
She was never so cruel.
Okay. If all the world's a stage or a bad teen movie, what role do you play? The angsty protagonist, the best friend who's infinitely more interesting than the angsty protagonist, the comic relief, or the person telling the story in that stupid voiceover way?
Okay, but real talk.
Uh-huh.
Am I saying it in the stupid voiceover way? Or am I purposefully making a stupid voiceover, mocking the people in the story?
Probably the first one. Because if you did... Here's the thing, though. If you did the second one, you would just be the comic relief.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm going with the best friend.
Comic relief.
Do you think the best friend works for me?
I mean, you're always the one people are angsting in the general vicinity of.
That's true. I'm the sounding board. You have the sleepover scene where they tell me all of the problems that have happened in the movie, and I solve them in 5 minutes because they ran out of runway.
I like to think of myself as the comic relief.
Uh-huh. Even though you're mad at me for saying that.
No, I am independent. I'm not mad at you for saying it. I'm mad at you for making the decision for me.
You're just mad that I'm right. So, horror, romance, I'm picking romance. Just look at my bookshelf.
Romance. Just look at my manga shelves.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant by bookshelf.
Comedy.
Yeah, I have
don't
more
like
trouble.
Tragedy.
I
actively dislike tragedy.
No, that's totally fair. I think that there is a lot of tragedy done poorly, is my problem. I'll go with comedy this time. Pick a work of literature not on this quiz. I'm literally taking a U quiz. You think I fucking read literature? Honestly, I'm gonna go with that one. I've never read any of these on purpose.
But real talk, are we talking about actually Frankenstein?
Yes.
Or are we talking about everybody and their mothers in wrong interpretation of Frankenstein?
They said work of literature, they mean the original Frankenstein.
Okay, but again, the person making this quiz actually read Frankenstein?
I would assume so, because they made a quiz for which classic literature idiot are you?
Fair enough.
Are you an overly...
But also, Adam Frankenstein was not a monster.
Yeah, that's true. He was just a guy.
He was just a dude.
He's just a guy. Weird eyes. That's not his fault. He didn't put those there. Are you an overly dramatic Shakespearean actor or fighting the inner urge to be a stripper?
Overly dramatic Shakespearean actor.
Yeah, probably. Horny on main? Yes, no, yes. Or yes, but in the vaguely homoerotic repressed sort of way. I'm going with in the vaguely homoerotic repressed sort of way.
Vaguely?
I mean, it is worth pointing out that, one, I don't have a gender, so it's either always or never gay. The answer is always. And two, people have a lot of trouble conceptualizing how lack of a gender works with whether or not something is homoerotic. Also, I'm sure 12th Night is good, and I'm sure you're going to make me watch it sometime. Pick a type of stupidity. Blinded by love, not knowing things, classic clown, ignoring the warning signs, or I'm not actually stupid. In fact, I'm the cleverest person I know. I'm going to go with ignoring the warning signs for me. And I think you might be class clown.
Yeah, I want blinded by love type of stupidity, but the actual love that I want is the kind of casual coexistence.
It makes you less stupid.
Right, exactly. This is my partner. She's not my brain. She's my extra brain.
Yes, you already had one, but now you have two.
Exactly.
And that makes it work better. Pick an aesthetic. A dark past, clean floors, white walls, upholstered furniture, handwritten letters, bonnets, lace, a mansion on a moor, suppressed love. Skulls, scrolls, pentagrams, black-painted fingernails, creaking wood, dusty shelves crammed with potions, the smell of old books. Champagne, stars...
Skills.
That's too bad. Look, speaking is hard, and we're just gonna have to make allowances for the fact that English is nonsense, so I'm gonna keep saying skulls.
I was correcting you in a class clown kind of way, not an actual correction
I
kind of way.
I know that nobody says skills unless they're being silly.
How dare you treat me as if I was being serious?
That's literally always what I do. Yes, it is always good when gender fuckery is good. That's a good choice to put in any romantic comedy. Anyway, champagne, stars, glitter, a 12-piece orchestra, the distant sounds of laughter, bouquets of flowers, untouched cakes. Hot pavement, the smell of city streets, the dog days of summer, colorful clothes, a scraped knee covered by a Hello Kitty Band-Aid. The moon, a misty forest, a foreboding castle, lightning, thunder, the sound of wings, the growing sense that something is about to change. Or, bro,
Ooh.
I do not vibe with this pretentious aesthetic shit. I'm going with the moon.
I'm torn between 3 and 5.
Now I gotta count shit.
No, 3. Actually, now that I reread it, 3 is a bit too social for me. But yeah, I'm also going with moon.
Okay. I thought you meant 2 for some reason, because I forgot how to count.
Nah, I died in the middle.
If you were in a work of classic literature, would you die at the end? I would die at the end. I would not die at the end. Or, no, I'd die in the middle. I'd die in the middle, wouldn't I?
I would not die at the end, and that would be a problem.
Yeah, I'm torn. Would I not die at the end? Because literally my body has been trying to kill me for years and continually failed. Or would I die in the middle? Because I'm an idiot.
I mean, if you die in the middle, in my opinion, it would be because you were the wrong genre savvy. You thought you were in a different genre than you actually were.
I acknowledge that. I don't agree. Because I know for a fact that even if I did know what genre I was in, I would ignore genre conventions if I thought I had a reason to that wasn't my own safety.
You would actually go into the basement with a flickering flashlight?
I would.
Okay, then yeah, you'd die in the middle.
Yeah, just because
I would not die at the end, and that would be a problem.
Look, technically I didn't say I didn't die from the stab wound. All I said was I would remove the knife and keep talking like nothing happened because I was in the middle of something and they interrupted me. That doesn't mean it wouldn't kill me.
While bleeding out.
Yes, I would. I told you about my grandpa, right? He was the week before he died at 90-something years old. He was out there in the barn working on the bulldozer, working on tinkering and getting it working again. And he stressed out his caregiver so badly because he was in the barn working on the bulldozer instead of resting in bed. And that is the same kind of I'm not done yet type of energy that I bring to the table, but also I would die in the middle probably.
Yeah.
Pick one. Ideologically, I don't agree with men, but they kind of went off with cheekbones. Ideologically, I don't agree with rich people, but they kind of went off with Gothic architecture. Ideologically, I don't agree with the 1920s, but they kind of went off with the parties. I don't know what ideologically means. Ideologically, I don't agree with Christianity, but they kind of went off with the demons. Or, ideologically, I don't agree with battles, but they kind of went off with the swords.
Holy hell, Gothic architecture.
I'm gonna go with swords, honestly. Like, Gothic architecture is nice, but it's not the only nice architecture. And honestly, like, I don't think it belongs to rich people.
Fair enough.
Do I like cheekbones? Like, I feel kind of neutral about cheekbones. I sure fucking have cheekbones, but...
I would certainly hope you do.
I mean, everybody has cheekbones, but, like, I keep noticing my own cheekbones in the mirror, and every time I see it at first, I'm like, oh no, did I lose weight again? I gotta check. But no, my face is just like that, even when I actually weigh a healthy amount. I'm going with swords, though.
I'm smiling too much, and my cheeks are starting to hurt.
That's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. What are you, really? An infuriating little man, in love with the idea of love, a traumatized child, an idiot, or in the middle of a mental breakdown?
Let's be honest, I'm in love with the idea of love, and I think you're an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, I am also a traumatized child, but I've learned to work past that. No, I didn't get the result I got last time. I got Mercutio this time. Last time I got Jonathan Harker from Dracula, and I told my wife, and she was just like, "Yeah, you would give legal advice to a vampire."
Who's Jane Eyre? I've heard of her before.
That titular character. I do know that Mercutio gets stabbed. I do know that much. You are Mercutio from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. He's a jokester, a performer, and a witty, jovial friend. He's also really, really horny on main. He's got off the shits vibes, a magnetic personality, and if he lived in the present day, he'd probably snort hella cocaine. This man has absolutely no personal stake in the Montague-Capulet family feud that rages around him, but he decides to take a side anyway, pissing dangerous people off just for the drama of it all. This guy Tybalt pulls out a sword and swings at him, and Mercutio's like, "Is this time to crack a joke? Stupid bitch, but I literally love him." He gets stabbed.
I do not know the veracity of whether or not I'm Jane Eyre.
Well, did you read the description?
I've never read this book.
I mean, you've got the description to work from also, though.
Yeah, but it also doesn't sound like me.
Okay.
I don't think.
Apparently Jane Eyre fell in love with a broody asshole, but she's super plain. That does sound a little like you.
I mean, I suppose as long as she sings, it doesn't matter how broody she is. But...
Man, don't do that, though. Don't.
Don't what?
Don't fall in love. Please. You know I'm gonna have to fix it if you do that. If you fall in love with a pretty girl that hates you.
Well, I mean, she doesn't have... oh, is that what he means by broody asshole?
I don't know. And we also...
A dude who hates her?
Don't inherently know what pronouns William Shakespeare would like used, but...
Oh. William Shakespeare, what pronouns do you use?
If you're comfortable telling us. You don't have to. Also, if you're comfortable with us forgetting, because I have brain problems.
I have weasels in my brain.
That's true, you also have brain problems, but it's like the different kind of brain problems that most people have, as opposed to the body trying to kill you brain problems.
And between the two of us, we will make sure to not remember.
Yay. Okay.
Okay, so is that what she meant? Like,
well,
how attracted you are guys who lock their wives? Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one thing that I've said a few times. Like, I am not going to choose my friends over my wife, but if my wife makes me choose between her and my friends, I am going to choose my friends over my wife, because then that's obviously not the woman I married.
Well, I mean, it very well could be the woman you married. You might have just made a bad choice.
You know what I mean.
I regret to inform you that sometimes your decisions are wrong.
Nuh-uh, you.
Okay. Do you want to pick a random number, or do you want to pick one you that you actually remember?
8?
Which cartoon protagonist are you? I think this one was just okay, but we might as well.
Okay, then 9.
Okay. Who would you be in a fantasy society?
Sure. The Surf. Fuck you.
I mean, I think that is an option.
Am I allowed to swear in this?
Yes, I've been swearing the whole time. It's fine.
Oh.
Okay, he married a woman who was defined at the time as mentally ill, also a person of color, and fell in love with Jane after his wife was locked in the attic the whole time. No, that's a terrible dude. Do not love that dude.
Oh, no.
But also, if you didn't know that he'd done that, you might love that dude.
Fair enough.
That would still make him a terrible person, but it would not necessarily make you also a terrible person for being taken in. I mean, like, very few people are terrible people solely for being taken in by abusers. Like, you only become a terrible person if you start also abusing people yourself. Anyway, who would you be in a fantasy society?
We already answered this one before. You are Gluttony.
I know. Yes, me and my desperately concerned that I've lost weight entirely by accident again. Definitely Gluttony. I've heard that the Bronte sisters just kind of had, like, tragic lives. You went with Pride last time, right?
Yes.
Okay, are you doing that again?
Yeah.
Pick a horseman. What is the difference between war and conquest?
War is specifically the destructive aspect. Conquest is stomping people beneath your feet. It's the difference between essentially mindless fighting versus tyranny.
Okay, why did we do away with pestilence? We really shouldn't have.
I think pestilence and famine are the same one, but yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it,
they're way less connected. They're way less similar than war and conquest.
Of the apocalypse. Death, famine, war, and conquest. Yeah, those are the 4 horsemen.
Plague has definitely been one in at least some iterations, because I think it was a character in one of those really shitty Xbox games.
Give me a second, I'm actually looking this up.
Okay.
4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
You could just add plague to your search results. That'll find you exactly what you want much faster.
I'm looking at specifically what conquest was supposed to be.
I mean, either way, it's probably not conquest. Because that's just not my vibe.
Oh, so...
Uh-huh.
Conquest is supposed to be pestilence?
That doesn't make any sense at all.
And
those are very different words.
What? What?
What?
This doesn't make sense, but you know what? Christianity, whatever.
Yeah.
In that case, I'm still gonna go with conquest.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with death. That's the most unambiguous one. A crime was committed. What was your role? Baby, I am the crime. I saw the crime and alerted the proper authority. I did not see the crime.
Depends on what the crime is. If the crime is robbing a TV from something, then yeah, I reported it to the proper authority.
No.
If the crime is stealing bread, then I didn't see a crime.
Like, frankly, I don't have any particular issue with shoplifting in principle, just as a whole. But, like, if you're stealing a TV, one, poor people still deserve to have nice things. Two, maybe they're selling the TV to have money for food. You don't fucking know. Like, I saw the crime and minded my business.
Fair enough.
Like, there are some types of crime where it's like, no, I'm watching you. But that's mostly like, okay, is this like a child abduction? You know? Like, that's high tier crime. Low tier crime, I do not see it. I suppose it could be a translation thing, maybe, but I really don't know. For conquest as opposed to pestilence. Because, like, if you fall ill and die, I guess you could make an argument that the virus has conquered your body.
What the hell is Enneagram?
Good question. They have an answer for I don't know what the fuck that is. We're
Okay.
going with that, because I don't know what the fuck that is. It's a different type of personality thing. Oh, this is the one that didn't have any of the good... Oh, wait, no, but... I'm so confused. I specifically remember seeing one of these quizzes when I was compiling them into my spreadsheet, where I had complained at the time that they were lacking the relevant tarot cards in the major arcana. But obviously strength. Strength. I like strength.
Be strong. I'm still going with justice.
Okay. Choose a gift to receive. A sharp, shining sword. Why did I pronounce it that way? A thick leather journal. Something lovingly homemade. Something practical and useful. Or beautiful gold earrings.
Something practical and useful.
I'm torn between practical and useful and lovingly homemade. You know? Which do I want?
You want something lovingly homemade.
You think? I mean, like, most of my friends are bakers, so when they lovingly home make me something, it's usually sweets, and that's also very practical, though, because I need things to eat.
I still want to have you try my butternut squash soup at some point.
Okay. And only if we can blend it well enough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Choose a dog or cat. Yes, I'm serious. I love the fat fuck. Look at him.
I don't want to care for a cat, though.
You don't have to care for it, you're just clicking on it. Like, cats require substantially less active care than dogs, I promise you.
Fair enough.
I'm going with the fat fuck.
I'm going with Doberman.
Okay. If you found yourself in a place with no one around for miles and miles, what would you do? Go towards where I know people are. I don't like being alone. Scream as loud as I can for as long as I can, just because I can. Sit quietly and enjoy the peace. Find an adventure so I won't be bored. Or do what I normally do. I'm usually alone. It's that one. I'm homebound.
You know what? I would normally do that, but I think I would go towards where people are.
Uh-huh. Well, you've still got, like, pack mentality, safety, and numbers a lot of the time.
Fair enough.
Even if it's not specifically you want to be actively socially involved, you just want to be near people.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a color.
That light blue isn't blue enough.
That's
it's
unfortunate.
Too gray.
I like it, though. I like that as well as brighter blues. Yeah, I didn't die in the plague this time. The last time I got it, I took it in like April 2020, and I got guy who dies of plague. This time I got the suspicious but wise hermit. No one really knows what to think of you. No one truly knows you. You can't tell if you like it better that way or not.
I am the long-suffering night. You're so unbelievably tired. Someone said something to you the other day, and you wanted to be laid to rest. You can't. Your duty is for life, and life is unending.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
What time is it? Okay, we've been going for like an hour 45. So do you want to do like one more or maybe two?
How much of that has been arguing?
Most of it, as promised.
Sure, let's do one or two more.
Okay, do you want to do another one of the knowledge ones? And then maybe one more silly one?
Sure.
Okay, so we've got, can you identify these foods by their scientific name, which you sent me, Halloween, which you sent me, or who said it, Solid Snake or Edward Cullen, which I have an unfair advantage on.
I want to do who said it, Solid Snake or Edward Cullen.
Okay. The Himbo Prince is not a bad thing to be. Send it also to the chat.
Oh, I can't click on the other ones to look at them?
What?
The personality quiz results.
Oh, no, UQuiz doesn't do it that way, unfortunately. So, I'm gonna let you guess first on each of these, since you are less likely to know. And I know that last time I got one of them incorrect. I don't know which one. We'll find out. I'm shadow.
I'm gonna say... Sorry.
I'm a shadow, one that no light will shine on. As long as you follow me, you will never see the day. Snake or Edward?
I'm gonna say Eddie. Nope. I was wrong.
Yeah. It's important to take into account that, like, Solid Snake has, like, a tragic backstory, and also, Edward Cullen can go out in the daytime and it's fine.
That one sounded edgy rather than actually dark backstory.
Have you ever, like, heard anything about Metal Gear other than what I've told you?
Will you hate me if I say no?
No, I won't hate you. But, like, look, I love Metal Gear a lot, but it is melodramatic, we'll say.
Okay.
If we could bottle your luck, we'd have a weapon of mass destruction on our hands.
Solid Snake, because I don't think Eddie says weapon of mass destruction.
Nope.
Huh.
He is talking about how lucky Bella is.
Okay. I'm gonna get all these wrong, aren't I?
There is a comparable There is a character who's luck based in Metal Gear Solid 2 Guns of the Patriots, but was it Guns of the Patriots? Was it? Yes, I think it was Guns of the Patriots. But she's not actually lucky. She's just got like a fancy magnetic suit that drives bullets away from her. Okay. This is the one I got wrong last time. But they were all human beings. I looked into their eyes as they died and I saw who I was and what I was capable of.
I'm gonna go with Snake.
Nope.
Damn it.
Yeah, I got it wrong last time. Because, you know, Snake kills a lot of people. But also, like, he's kind of cool with it at that point. Because by the time you get to Metal Gear Solid, he's already had Metal Gear 1 and 2 to just be a regular soldier. So, there won't be any Happy Beauty and the Beast ending for me.
Eddie.
Nope.
God damn it!
Love doesn't always come in convenient packages.
I'm almost certain I'm gonna get this wrong, but Eddie.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Solid Snake, in particular, never really has a canonical love interest. Naked Snake does. Venom Snake does.
I'm going to say, I believe at any time, in a place, people can fall in love with each other, but if you love someone, you have to be able to protect them. Eddie? Wait.
No. Have you gotten any of them correct yet?
Yes, love doesn't always come in convenient packages.
Okay. What if I'm not a superhero? What if I'm the bad guy?
Snake knows that he's a bad guy, so I'm going to say Eddie.
I mean, actually, Snake is not a bad guy. You're thinking of Naked Snake. But...
Well, like, brooding, he has no, I don't know how to. He doesn't seem like he would angst in this direction.
Other people do not have the same illusions about him as they might about a high school student.
He doesn't think of himself as a superhero, and he doesn't think of himself as a bad guy.
Yes, he's just a guy doing a job that sucks. I'm no hero. Never was, never will be.
Snake.
Yes. I don't believe in God, so you're the only one to whom I can pray. I hate this one.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Okay, I got that one wrong this time. I got a different one wrong.
I got a 3 out of 9. I scored better than 7% of all of the quiz takers. Oh. Ow. Only 7% of people did worse than me.
I think one of the other ones...
I understand that 3 out of 9 is worse than 50-50.
Yeah.
But still, damn.
I got the first one technically wrong because I clicked your answer instead of 9. I did know that one, but I got the last one wrong because I legitimately forgot. Because it's from the novelization. I think that Metal Gear Solid is very compelling storytelling, personally.
I will take your word
acknowledge
for
that
it.
my taste is particular in this regard. And I think that Solid Snake is a genuinely interesting and compelling character, especially if you're taking him in direct contrast with, for example, Naked Snake, who later becomes Big Boss. They're very interesting to compare with each other. But, I understand that not everybody feels that way about him. Okay, so that's our last knowledge one. Do you want me to just read you titles and we can pick one? Or do you want to pick completely blind for the last silly one? Did you mute yourself to drink tea again? Yes, people who watched something so they can tell me about it so I don't have to watch it is a great genre of YouTube video. I watch a lot of those. Did you die? Okay, you're muted. Please unmute yourself.
Oh, I accidentally muted myself in the wrong area, and I was like, wait a second, I'm not muted. Why is... okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Okay. So, let's go with 7?
Good, that's the one I wanted.
That's the one you wanted?
I've never watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have been listening to Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die by Chip and Ironicus, and I'm enjoying that a lot. I am really enjoying other people telling me about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Who's Pliskin?
That is Snake Plissken from what's the name of the movie? It's one of them 70s beard people movies.
Oh. 70s beard people?
You know what I mean. So, the last one is what livestock species would you show? Can you see why I was excited you picked this one?
No, not at all.
Escape from LA, that's what it is. That sounds correct. I don't know, I haven't watched it. I think it's... I don't know. It might be New York. Nobody knows. Someone might have watched a movie once. It wasn't me. So, How would you
I
describe
imagine
yourself?
someone's watched Escape from LA at some point.
Probably. How would you describe yourself? Confident, bold, energetic, scholarly, determined, logical, cheerful, precise, or grateful? I'm guessing you're going to go with logical.
Either logical or scholarly.
Okay, I'm going with determined. We've met me.
I mean, you are working off of determination and nothing else for the past, year or so.
Look, this is why you marry someone, so they can watch stuff and tell you about it, and you don't have to watch it. What matters most when showing livestock? Winning, friendship with your fellow competitors, or the bond between you and your animal? I love my animals.
I'm gonna say friendship.
That's fair. If I do get into showing livestock, it's because I love my livestock and I want to show them off. I'm gonna have
Fair
the
enough.
livestock either way. Choose a belt buckle. Let's see here. Do I like any of these? We'll go with this kind of comparatively understated silver floral design. That's fine.
Torn between the normal-ass belt buckle or the four-leaf clover.
Uh-huh. The four-leaf
go
clover
with
is specifically for the 4-H club. I don't know if you see that.
Oh, I don't know what the 4-H club is, so I will go with the normal-ass belt buckle.
Okay. It's give children a horse.
Oh.
But you sound down on that, but it's positive give children a horse. It's facilitate children learning about and interacting with livestock and farming and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
In case they might not necessarily get a full knowledge base from their own homes, Choose your favorite dog breed group. Hound, sporting, working, toy, herding, terrier, or non-sporting.
Working.
Yeah, do I want working or herding? Because I do love collies. German Shepherds literally have shepherd in the name. Yeah, thank you. Working or herding? I know you like working dogs. I think I'm going to go with working. Just because they tend to be...
It's so good because they wag their tails when they're doing a good job.
Well,
I think that's the most fucking adorable thing.
It's important to understand that when they say working dogs, they do not mean dogs that have jobs. Dogs that have jobs can be basically any breed. They mean specifically the working breeds. Like a St. Bernard. Or like a German Shepherd.
Or German Shepherd.
The ones that were specifically bred for labor. Because, herding dogs are dogs with jobs, but they're not bred for labor in the same way.
Gotcha.
How much do you value tradition? I care a lot about tradition. It depends on the tradition. I'm not particularly traditional, or fuck tradition, that's for old people.
I want to say fuck tradition, but also it depends on the tradition, because a lot of tradition do have folk knowledge behind them.
Yeah, we were just talking about this earlier, the snake oil stuff. Do I need to let you give the snake oil presentation again?
Okay. Birb gave me the opening, so I am absolutely going to
It came up
a little bit. So snake oil isn't actually snake oil. So snake oil is something that in relatively recent years they have in fact done some tests on it. Specifically, it was water snake oil balm. I believe sourced from the Chinese water snake, and it was part of traditional Chinese medicine. And
this is a side note. I just want to address chat. The best dogs to hug are all of them.
Yes. And so, prior to the FDA being a thing, I think it was the FDA, there was actually a fairly large trade of snake oil in the various medicinal fields, because again, recently they did some tests on it, and snake oil balm does have actual legitimate anti-inflammatory properties to it. Now, granted, do we have better stuff these days? Yes. Do we have better natural stuff these days? Yes. But that doesn't mean that snake oil is complete bullshit. However, what happened, and the reason why we use the term snake oil, is because around the time when that, I think it was the FDA, though I'm not certain, but a big regulatory body in the US started to be a thing. Eventually they got around to testing snake oil, and one of the, I believe, top 5 producers in the US was proven to not actually have any snake oil in their product. It was a mixture of like mineral and vegetable oils.
Fake
and
oil.
As a result of them being shut down, the entire medical community, for some reason, lost confidence in snake oil as a whole. And so now, despite snake oil being a legitimate thing, it is a phrase for, complete...
Hucksters.
Yeah, exactly. Because of one con man who brought everyone down with them.
It is amazing how often it turns out wacky ancient medicine type things turned out to be, no, that was just actual medicine, guys.
Right. And it's been on my mind ever since I learned about this, because it's like, for there to actually be something to it, and it's now a phrase for something that doesn't work, that hurt a lot of people's lives and livelihoods. Right, exactly. When and that's malaria, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and
I think quinine's for malaria.
It's so annoying, and I don't know. I want to stop before I really start ranting about it. So
okay, so we're gonna move on to the next question. Favorite season?
To the next question.
Fall, winter, spring, or summer? It's winter. I love winter. Please, I'm in the desert. I'm dying. Who's your starter Pokemon? Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, or Pikachu? I'm trying to remember. Who do I usually
Bulbasaur is actually the meta Pokemon.
I understand that.
By the way, I understand that you may have missed Squirtle at some point during your adventures. Squirtle is the starting water Pokemon in the first game.
Uh-huh. I'm trying to... I think that I usually picked Bulbasaur just because he's a little plant guy. Look, this particular Bulbasaur's got little hearts on his forehead.
Aww.
I love that. I'm picking Bulbasaur. What song was probably on your middle school iPod? I can tell you which one was on my middle school iPod. It was Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy. That was 100% guaranteed to be on my iPod the moment I had an iPod. I'm pretty sure it's still on my iPod, which is unfortunately the second iPod I ever had. The first one died in 2013.
I don't think any of these were around when I was in middle school.
That's true, you're a little older than me.
I'm old!
You're not old.
I'm gonna say Sugar We're Going Down because I think it's the only one here that I'm willing to listen to. Oh yeah, that was around when I was in middle school. Lulu Rao.
What?
We going down,
going down in an early round. The sugar we're going down swinging.
Yes, I know what the actual lyrics are, but I like butchering songs.
Loaded God complex, cock and bullet. Have you ever actually shown something before? Yes, I've shown livestock. Yes, but not a livestock species like dogs, cats, or pigeons. No, and I probably wouldn't ever. No, but I bet I could. Or no, but maybe I'd try something small. I bet I could.
No, but
I could.
Maybe I'd try something small.
I think I could handle livestock. You know this. And then we've got the deadly sins again. It's wrath. I'm gonna fight you.
What, just because you don't want to acknowledge that you're a complete and utter glutton?
What kind of kid were you? Horse girl, Greek mythology, dinosaurs, wolves or warrior cats or something like that, or video games? This is the hard one.
Video games, but Greek mythology.
I know you were a Greek myth kid. That's obvious.
Is it? Why?
Because you're a nerd. You wanted to be in the library reading books about Greek mythology, and you were the type of person to tell everyone you ever met, hey, did you know that Hercules is actually a really bad representation of the actual Greek myth?
Also, have you ever heard of Atalanta?
I don't know what that is.
She's the one unambiguously good
Greek goddess?
Female. Not Greek goddess, Greek heroine.
Okay.
In Greek mythology.
I mean, they didn't have a lot of unambiguously good heroes of any gender, so, to be fair.
It's funny because she got so mad at everybody trying to determine who her husband was going to be. Then she was like, okay, we'll have a foot race, and if any of you can beat me, I will marry you. If not, I will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, she's I don't think she's actually a demigod, but yes, she is the demigod of men are trash. And so, like, she ends up killing, like, 50 to 100 dudes. And then one dude who's, like, soft and sensitive actually starts endearing himself to her.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tries the foot race, and she's like, no, please, dude, don't do it. I don't want to have to kill you. Please, let's figure something else out. But he goes to, like, another Greek god or goddess and gets a bunch of golden apples and starts chucking them to the side.
Mm-hmm.
As she's running. And the first time she's like, oh, hey, dude, you dropped this. And so she runs back to grab the apple, runs to give it back to him. Hey, dude, you dropped this. Then he chucks a second apple behind them, and she's like, oh, I see where this is going. And so she essentially throws the race because he keeps throwing golden apples to distract her. And it's fucking hilarious.
She could have also just chosen to throw the race on her own without having him have to try to come up with something. Like, that was also an option that was available. But anyway...
Yeah, but no one would have accepted that.
That's fair. I mean, gold can be substituted with basically anything the person likes, honestly. Like, you can bribe me with bread, as long as you are also being sincere and honest.
Okay, but is the bread gilded with gold?
I hope not. That's expensive. And, like, pointless.
Wolves or warrior cats? You were a wolves or warrior cats kid?
In middle school, I used to carry a notebook around and just write fiction constantly. And one of the two stories I have the most distinct memories of was werewolves. It was just straight up werewolves. It was like melodramatic young adult werewolf fiction, you know, where there's this girl that's recently become a werewolf, somewhat recently become a werewolf. This is like, she'd become a werewolf like 10 years before by the time the story is actually happening. But like, she's
she's a werewolf baby. 10 years on? Oof.
Well, yeah, but like, it really depends. Yeah, if they're throwing pasta at the ground, that might be like a little weird. Like, maybe that's not such a great plan. But
well, I mean, depends. Is it in a bread bowl?
Can I put it in like a regular bowl so that I can still eat it?
Not if you're chucking it on the ground.
But if it lands bowl side, if it lands bowl side down, so it's all still in the bowl and not on the ground, then I can still eat it.
If he could make a throw like that, I don't think he'd have to force her to throw the race.
Maybe he's running really slowly.
Running really slowly and carefully placing the fettuccine bowls on the ground and then booking it.
like the specific iteration of vampires that have to count grains of rice. Except you have to sit down and eat the whole bowl of pasta. But no, yeah. When I was honestly not that bad of a writer, but certainly very determined. And unfortunately, I went back and archived all my DeviantArt writing. I told you about this. I subjected you to it because you were around at the time. You were friends with me in the DeviantArt days. But
I still am, even.
yes, you are still friends with me, although we are not on DeviantArt anymore. But that story went missing. I didn't get to my archiving in time. I'm so sad. And
Wait, was it deleted?
I don't know. It's not there. I know I posted it. I know for certain that I posted it. And I remember the cover of the notebook, so if my mom saved it for whatever reason, I can absolutely, like, retype it again. But, and, like, I had, like, a little short prequel one-shot posted, and that was still up, and that was still accessible. And then the other one that I wrote in middle school that was more of a long-form story has also gone missing, and that was just Harry Potter fanfiction, but none of the Harry Potter characters appeared, except for Voldemort appeared at the very end and killed the protagonist and left.
I'd like to point out that this all would be a very appropriate time for the yelling Kirby face.
Okay. But no, yes, I was a wolf child if we fast forward past the brief horse child phase. Because, like, I was really into horses when I was, like, 3, and then my parents did a poor job of... Here. Yes, I can. I can do this. No, it's broken. I can't do this. Okay, well, I could do this if I wanted to fiddle around with settings for a little bit, but if I talk loud enough, if I get closer to the mic, So, yeah, it was a weird story. I don't know what I was doing. But anyway, yes, if we go past the... If we go past the horse child phase, in which my parents just kind of plopped me on top of a pony at a preschool party and didn't really give me, like, a lot of support to feel comfortable interacting with horses, because horses are really big, and I was a small child, you know. So that kind of dissuaded me on livestock for a while. I'm into livestock now, but obviously, because we're taking a which show livestock would you choose quiz. But after that, it was wolves, and, like, my friends and I would literally, like, they tore down one of the playgrounds, and they took a really long time to build a new playground in its place. So my friends and I would dig burrows in the wood chips and just pretend to be assorted creatures. Most of us were dragons. One of our friends was a griffin. I feel like that falls under wolves more than dinosaurs, you know?
Let's be honest, we're all still kind of creatures.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's how humans work. Humans are, in fact, creatures. This is just star signs. I'm an earth sign. I think that you're a water sign, because you're a Cancer, right?
Yes.
I'm
not sure if it means anything.
It does, kind of. It means about as much as any of the rest of this. Be fucking honest. Do you bop to country music? Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay. I disagree with that middle one. It's not only old country, modern country, it's shit.
Stadium country.
Only old country, and 2000s to around 2016, 2017, post 9/11 country. That's the only real shit there is. Thankfully, there's a lot of now modern country that's becoming a lot better because it's
moving on from 9/11.
What?
Moving on from 9/11, finally.
Yeah, exactly.
It is worth taking into account, though, that there were artists like the Chicks that were very active during that period who still made good country.
And KT Tunstall, but also you're gonna get good no matter what era you're in, no matter what genre you're in.
If you know what to look for.
Like, not all modern rap is about guns, sex, and whores. A lot of it is.
It really depends on where you're looking, though, too.
Fair enough.
Honestly, I feel like my brother has probably heard Willie Nelson's reggae album, and I'll be sure to ask him about it next time I call him.
Willie Nelson's reggae. Boy, that sounds cursed.
It might be very interesting. Choose a song I associate with 4-H activities. No, I don't care if you chose the I hate country option last question. We got International Harvester. Oh, my accent's coming out now.
Oh, just live it. Live it. Allow it to come out.
Okay, we've got International Harvester by Craig Morgan. We got The Devil Went Down to Georgia by Charlie Daniels. We got She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy by Kenny Chesney, which I think I've heard, and I think was like, it's not bad as far as stadium country goes. You got Chicken Fried by Zach Brown Band, and you've got Fancy by Reba McEntire. You know, I'm tempted to pick International Harvester, mostly just because my family has a very strong loyalty to the International Harvester brand. This is not a joke. But Devil Went Down to Georgia's real fucking good.
I'm gonna go with that one because it's the only one I know.
Finally, choose your favorite non-livestock attraction at the county fair. The rides,
Food.
the horticulture exhibits, the food, the games, or I've actually never been to a county fair.
I have been to a county fair, and they have fantastic food a lot of the time.
They,
Very unhealthy, but
yeah,
fantastic.
Like, nowadays, if I got to go to a county fair, I would probably really like the food, but back the last time I was able to actually go to a county fair, it was mostly about the rides, honestly. Even though, like, I am not a theme park person. I do not like theme parks. I do not like roller coasters. Every time the choir would go to the local theme park for the annual field trip, I would stand by everyone's backpacks and read my book and have a great time reading my book and guarding people's backpacks and not having to ride rides. But I like county fair rides for some reason. Something about the jankiness is comforting to me.
The jankiness definitely does not make me feel good.
Okay, I got the same result I did last time. I got dairy goats.
Poultry. Somehow I'm not surprised.
Poultry are small and more controllable. Dairy goat showmen are weird, energetic, and competitive. Somehow, like every dairy goat showman ends up being a jack-of-all livestock showmanships, perhaps because goats are stubborn, difficult creatures, and apparently you're willing to tame that for some fancy color ribbons. More power to you, I guess. I am stubborn
Poultry
enough.
Showmen are fun. Showing poultry is so versatile, and that really manifests in the free-flowing vibes of poultry showmen. You're sweet, weird, friendly, and eclectic. Birds are funny little creatures, and you are what you show, I guess.
Uh-huh. Are beef cattle just too big for you, Sharkspear?
I'm starting to not like beef nearly as much as I used to. I'll definitely have a good steak every once in a while, but I don't crave it nearly as much as I used to.
That makes sense.
I've been a lot more about chicken.
Uh-huh. They are very big, but they're so docile too, though.
I suppose I'm still about ground beef, but like all beef hot dogs, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
Hamburgers, not so much. More along the lines of like spiced sausages and stuff.
Uh-huh. So, they're pretty good to hug, honestly. Especially if you get a longer hair breed and you, like, maintain their coat real nice.
You know what's really great to pet? Cheetahs.
That's
cheetahs
right. You've pet all the weird animals. I want to pet a
yes,
cheetah.
I have. They're so adorable, and they're like, even in the way they move, they're like big house cats.
Mm-hmm. I don't know much about swine, honestly. Like, I mostly just know that they are much bigger than people think they are. Like, cows are also much bigger than people think they are. But
Swine are both bigger and smaller than you'd think. It's weird. You'd think they would either be like about the size of your torso or the size of like 2 or 3 or even 5 people, and they're somewhere in between.
I mean, they are the size of 2 or 3 of me, but I'm a small people.
Well, yeah, but like they're an animal that when you look at them in pictures, you think they'd be smaller than they are. When you look at them in person, you're like, hold on. I could have sworn they were like twice that size.
Also,
but no,
Sharkspear, Sharkspear wants to know who you have to bribe to pet a cheetah. I wouldn't know, because I haven't gotten to pet one.
Okay, so growing up, my mom was able to... She was in a position where her company needed her in Las Vegas constantly.
Okay, yeah, you'd probably get to pet a lot of exotic cats there.
Well, no. That's not what I'm talking about. This is a lead up to what actually happened.
Okay.
And so she was A, unwilling to move her children to Las Vegas, and B, unwilling to leave us alone for extended periods of time. And so what she ended up doing was her company sent her on essentially 2 or 3 day trips a week for a solid 2 years out to Las Vegas.
Ugh.
And she was able to put all the travel on her personal credit card, which means she was able to rack up crazy frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
And so when I pet a cheetah was actually one time when she took my brother and I to South Africa basically for free. And we went to a cheetah reserve where they took care of injured cheetahs, and we learned some unfortunate things like how it is nearly impossible to reintroduce a cheetah that's been exposed to humans into the wild, because in many ways they are essentially very big, particularly dangerous house cats, including the fact that they really shouldn't be out on their own. And so, yeah, that's part of the reasons why cheetahs in the wild are really getting impacted, because the cheetahs will adapt essentially instantly to any care a human gives them. Anyway, so we went to a reserve, and there was a cheetah that was getting exercised a lot, and they had us go into the pen with them, and we were able to pet a cheetah as it was resting.
I want to pet a cheetah. I want to go... There's an aquarium in Atlanta, Georgia that's got... First off, it's got a whale shark, and I need to go see the whale shark. And it also has...
keep something as large as a whale shark in an aquarium?
Very carefully. Like, there's a reason that there's not a lot of them in captivity. But, also, they have a touch tank with raisin sharks, and I want to touch the raisin sharks. I want to touch the raisin sharks.
What are raisin sharks?
That's why I repeated it, because it did sound like raisin sharks. Rays and sharks.
Ray sand sharks. Okay.
No. Okay. We're gonna stop now, I think. This was fun, though. We should probably do this again sometime. I've updated my spreadsheet to reflect which ones we already have. Yeah, fantastic. I went to Monterey Bay once. That was really cool. But anyway, so thank you for joining us. This was fun. It might happen again at some point. Probably.
One would hope. Yes, I will be excited for this.
Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
All right. Check y'all later. Have a great evening. Sleep well. Stay safe.
Okay. I'm leaving. I'm ending the stream. Goodbye.